All right, wonderful people of sixth grade. I'm actually going to let you know that this is my third time making this video because that is a willing testimony to not do this at 6 in the morning. So we have 4% of 300, and I'm just kind of going to go through two questions that might pop up in your homework or in your classwork where you're just kind of like, I'm just not sure what to do here. So also I'm gonna let you know that sometimes the video has been cutting out and I have to run back to my desk, run back to the board, and you kind of hear a bunch of feet shuffling, but know that that's okay. So I need to write my DP because I've asked you to write that, and just kind of helps me remember which way to move my decimal. And I'm not talking about that nasty stuff you get at a vending machine, but if I'm at 4%, which is, okay, here's my percent, I need to move it twice to the left. So I have 4%, 1, 2, here's my new decimal, all right? So I've got 300 times 0.04. We've practiced this a lot, but when you go through 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 3 is 12, and then if I go through with this, I don't really need to, it's going to be a whole bunch of zeros. Now, however many decimal places I start with, which is 1, 2, I'm going to end with 1, 2. So that means 4% of 300 is the number 12. Okay, 12 represents 4% of 300. Now, the other question I wanted to go through with you guys was from the classwork that we kind of just didn't get through. As you can see, I forgot to erase this, but I'm going to go ahead and put it back. So I'm going to read this to you. Your big brother has just graduated college and will leave with a small $18,000 in debt. I'm going to underline things that are important as I read it. All right. The bank that loaned him the money gave him an interest rate of 6.75% with the expectation you'd pay it off within 10 years of graduating. Now, how much money will your big brother or will your brother have to pay back in total? So what's important here is right here, the total. So you need to set up your simple interest rate formula. Now I'm going to write it out. I equals PRT. I stands for interest. You're like, Mr. Russell, you already said that. Why are you repeating yourself? And I'm not really sure. So P stands for principal. Okay, and principal is simply what the original amount you either put in the bank or the original amount that you borrowed. All right, R equals rate and T equals time in years. All right, so now when I go through, let me scroll back up. I equals, my principal is 18,000, all right, times my rate, which was 6.75%, which I could speak. All right, now here's what happens. Here's my DP, not that nasty stuff you get out of a vending machine. I'm gonna slide it from percent to decimal, so 1, 2. So I have 6.75% equals 0.0675, which is what I'm gonna multiply down here, times how long I'm going to be paying off my debt, or how long I have until I need to definitely pay it off, and that's 10 years. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just, I can multiply in any order. All right, so I'm going to multiply this first. I'm going to switch colors here so it's not all grouped funny. So 0.0675 times 10 gives me 0.675. Because I'm multiplying by a whole number power of 10, I can just slide my decimal for however many zeros are in my sight. All right, so now I've got 18,000 times 0.675. Now, here's a little trick for you. If I've got these 3 zeros here, that's basically 3 placeholders. All right, so I can actually make this 18 because I'm going to go take my decimal and go to the left 3 times. All right, so now I've got 18 times, and if I move my decimal 3 times to the left here, then I'm going to move my decimal 3 times to the right here and be balanced. So times 675. All right, and when I go through this, now I just like to, I'm very routine oriented, so I'm just going to write this the way I like to see it. All right, and when you go through and actually do this, you're going to get 12,150. All right. Now here's the thing. If you scroll back up, and you can't, but I can, when I scroll back up, it says total. Okay. Really, really important here, total, because I can't just borrow $18,000 from the bank and be like, oh, here you go. Here's 12,150. We're square, right? No, it's not like that. So I got to pay them back what I originally borrowed. And that's what it means by in total. Okay. Plus, all right, what I owe them in interest. All right, so if You know, I give a student a dollar. If I give Miss Flores $1 and I say, hey, you owe me 50% of interest, then she's going to have to pay me back $1.50. She can't just pay me 50 cents back. She has to pay me what she owes and then plus some. So I make something off kind of my good deed there. So when I add this together, you'll get 30,150. So your answer is 30,150. Okay. This is what a lot of you forgot on your quiz, your units. Right now, these two questions that we just went through on this video, and this is record time out of the two other ones that I tried to make. You have your test on either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when your block is. And I would really go through and study, watch these videos, try and make sure you're going to be as successful as you can come test day. All right, boys and girls, I'll see you in class.